For example, Zach started out in a marketing company, working day and night and never taking the time to develop a social life or expand his contact list. And when Zach decided to strike out on his own, he was working even longer hours, but still not giving any attention to his contacts, even though he was growing quite concerned about his lack of clients. Luckily, he had one good personal contact, his dad, who was an experienced entrepreneur and recognized his problem right away. He explained to Zach the importance of having good contacts, especially in the world of sales. Sure enough, after focusing on his network and sharpening his social skills, Zach's company began to thrive. Another way to increase your career options is to collect a variety of experiences. You may not have a clear idea of what you want to do with your life, so why not try a number of different jobs and discover what's out there? Alexandra did exactly this after earning a graduate degree in international relations and feeling disillusioned after working for a financial service company during the 2008 economic crisis. As Alexandra began to reflect on what she wanted to do with her life, she realized she had a real passion for nature and conservation. She was drawn to the Lewa Wildlife Conservancy in Kenya and began reaching out to people from the organization and adding them to her network. Those within Lewa recognized that Alexandra's experience in finance and international relations could be a great benefit, so they hired her as an international development manager. And with Lewa on her resume, Alexandra was able to add nature conservation to her growing list of experiences. Use career setbacks to bounce forward, and don't lose sight of your goals. When your career hits rock bottom, one of two things can happen to it. It can either shatter like a glass or bounce back to new heights like a rubber ball. With the right frame of mind, you can turn a career setback into the start of a new chapter. If you lose your job, there's no reason to give up, especially if you have your network in place, and remember that you're still in control. So keep in mind that any setback can be an opportunity to gain experiences and propel forward movement. Even when things look bleak, you can come soaring back. All it takes is the right amount of positive determination. When journalist Jill Abramson was run over by a truck in New York City, she had to face an enormous uphill battle to learn how to walk again. But that's exactly what she did, because she never gave up her belief that she could accomplish the goal she set for herself. And not only did she get back on her feet, she went on to become the first female executive director of the New York Times. To help you hold on to your goals when times are tough, here are 3 ounces of advice. The first is to pounce. You've got to keep learning and taking risks. Don't worry about looking dumb or falling on your face. It's far more important to stay curious and always be asking questions. The second is to trounce. Keep practicing and developing your skills no matter how many times you fail. It's not about reaching perfection. It's about continuing to grow and knowing that sooner or later your continual practice will pay off. The third is to announce. Share both your goals and difficulties with your peers. This will keep you focused on reaching those goals as well as on improving yourself. After all, it's easy to let a goal slip away if you're the only one who knows about it, so improve your chances of following through by letting the world know what you're aiming for. Your career tasks will change, but emotional intelligence will prepare you for any future. It's common for people to have anxieties about an unpredictable future, but when you take the right steps toward becoming aware and prepared, you can rest easy. One thing's for sure, whatever career path you are currently on will change within your lifetime. Everything about the traditional workday is changing. The hours are becoming more flexible just as companies are becoming less tied down to physical locations. Even universities are responding to the constant changes by regularly updating their programs to match emerging fields. Indeed, both universities and corporations know how important it is for adults to keep learning new skills. Georgia Tech, Udacity and AT&T, in an effort to keep the US workforce up to date and competitive, have pooled their resources to create a relatively accessible master's degree program in computer science that only costs $7,000. Workplace hierarchies are flattening out these days, so it'll also be to your advantage if you can show employers that you come with your own leadership skills and the ability to turn visions into reality. Ideally, This should also include a strong capacity to collaborate and work with social media. But being prepared for the future requires non-technical skills as well. You shouldn't underestimate emotional intelligence as a key part of your continued development, which means learning how to accurately understand and respond to the emotions of others. After all, it's not just the economy that's changing, people are changing, too. Lady Gaga recognized this a few years ago. In 2012, she launched the Born This Way Foundation to promote emotional intelligence, well-being and kindness in schools. So if you really want to secure your place in tomorrow's workforce, develop a sharp emotional intelligence. It will allow you to explain how your personality complements your skills, making you an indispensable asset for any company. In order to stay competitive in the future, you have to keep learning today. So stay current and observe the changes going on around you. With the right perspective, you can stay ahead of the curve while simultaneously collecting contacts, experiences and furthering your education. With this foresight, you'll be in a good position no matter what lays ahead.